Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday, January the 19th. The last time that we were with you was on Friday. Yesterday we celebrated an incredible holiday, Martin Luther King Day. It was a great, great day. I'm sorry that we had to do so much again by remote or virtual, and but at the same time, there were so many things, on televisions all across this land and everything, and paying wonderful tribute to a man that just changed the world. That's all there is to it. And so a great day yesterday. Now in that, now we've been really 4 days since we've been together. We've lost an additional 82 people. To be perfectly honest, I was afraid that it could even be greater than this, but I do think we're making some headway, but at the same time, talking about losing 82 people and making headway, that's tough to do, really, really tough to do. But, for these people, again, I ask your prayers. I ask that they won't become a number. I'm going to read every one, but I do not want them to become a number. Please keep them in all your prayers, all your thoughts, give them all your respect and everything. And trust me, they hear your prayers. They really do. Our 1,734th death is a 66-year-old male from Summers County. Our 1,735th death is a 78-year-old male from Tucker County. Our 1,736th death is a 76-year-old female from Hancock County. Our 1,737th death is an 89-year-old female from Hancock County. Our 1,738th death is a 65-year-old male from Hancock County. Our 1,739th death is a 67-year-old female from Kanawha County. Our 1,740th death is a 90-year-old female from Hancock County. Our 1,741st death is an 82-year-old male from Jackson County. Our 1,742nd death is a 79-year-old female from Upshur County. Our 1,743rd death is a 56-year-old female from Barber County. Our 1,744th death is a 72-year-old male from Campbell County. Our 1,745th death is a 92-year-old male from Mercer County. Our 1,746th death is a 74-year-old female from Harrison County. Our 1,747th death is a 93-year-old male from Hancock County. Our 1,748th death is an 87-year-old female from Hancock County. Our 1,749th death is a 69-year-old male from Kanawha County. Our 1,750th death is a 95-year-old female from Hancock County. Our 1,751st death is a 72-year-old female from McDowell County. Our 1,752nd death is a 79-year-old female from Brooke County. Our 1,753rd death is a 93-year-old female from Hancock County. Our 1,754th death is an 86-year-old female from Fayette County. Our 1,755th death is a 93-year-old female from Ohio County. Our 1,756th death is an 84-year-old female from Ohio County. Our 1,757th death is an 83-year-old female from Doddridge County. Our 1,758th death is an 80-year-old male from Kanawha County. Our 1,759th death is an 85-year-old female from Wayne County. Our 1,760th death is an 88-year-old female from Wood County. Our 1,761st death is a 56-year-old male from Campbell County. Our 1,762nd death is a 72-year-old male from Marshall County. Our 1,763rd death is a 73-year-old male from Wood County. Our 1,764th death is a 75-year-old female from Berkeley County. Our 1,765th death is a 70-year-old female from Wood County. Our 1,766th death is a 96-year-old female from Ohio County. Our 1,767th death is a 62-year-old male from Raleigh County. Our 1,768th death is an 88-year-old female from Hardy County. Our 1,769th death is a 73-year-old male from Upshur County. Our 1,770th death is an 84-year-old male from Lewis County. Our 1,771st death is a 79-year-old female from Fayette County. Our 1,772nd death is an 81-year-old male from Brooke County. Our 1,773rd death is a 95-year-old male from Hardy County. Our 1,774th death is an 89-year-old female from Brooke County. Our 1,775th death is a 92-year-old female from Monongalia County. Our 1,776th death is an 85-year-old male from Marshall County. Our 1,777th death is an 85-year-old male from Upshur County. Our 1,778th death is a 57-year-old female from Wood County. Our 1,779th death is a 57-year-old male from Upshur County. Our 1,780th death is a 35-year-old male from Wood County. I mean, it's terrible. It's just plain terrible to be losing people that are 80 or 90 or 75 years old, but losing a 35-year-old person within West Virginia is just tragic. Our 1,781st death is a 96-year-old female from Brooke County. Our 1,782nd death is an 81-year-old female from Hancock County. Our 1,783rd death is a 58-year-old male from Morgan County. Our 1,784th death is a 70-year-old male from Monongalia County. Our 1,785th death is a 77-year-old male from Greenbrier County. Our 1,786th death is a 54-year-old female from Kanawha County. Our 1,787th death is an 80-year-old male from Brooke County. Our 1,788th death is an 89-year-old male from Taylor County. Our 1,789th death is a 61-year-old female from Jefferson County. Our 1,790th death is a 73-year-old female from Campbell County. Our 1,791st death is a 73-year-old female from Kanawha County. Our 1,792nd death is a 59-year-old male from Berkeley County. Our 1,793rd death is a 92-year-old male from Mineral County. Our 1,794th death is a 91-year-old female from Wyoming County. Our 1,795th death is a 71-year-old male from Taylor County. Our 1,796th death is a 70-year-old male from Marshall County. Our 1,797th death is a 65-year-old male from Berkeley County. Our 1,798th death is an 82-year-old male from Berkeley County. Our 1,799th death is an 89-year-old female from Hancock County. Our 1,800th death in West Virginia, 1,800 great people have died, and it's an 80-year-old female from Kanawha County. Our 1,801st death is a 57-year-old female from Berkeley County. Our 1,802nd death is a 75-year-old male from Monongalia County. Our 1,803rd death is a 68-year-old male from Logan County. Our 1,804th death is a 72-year-old male from Wood County. Our 1,805th death is a 77-year-old female from Tucker County. Our 1,806th death is a 72-year-old female from Campbell County. Our 1,807th death is an 85-year-old female from Jefferson County. Our 1,808th death is an 82-year-old female from Berkeley County. Our 1,809th death is a 71-year-old male from Fayette County. Our 1,810th death is a 91-year-old female from Putnam County. Our 1,811th death is an 83-year-old male from Wood County. Our 1,812th death is a 69-year-old female from Putnam County. Our 1,813th death is a 65-year-old male from Putnam County. Our 1,814th death is an 87-year-old female from Wetzel County. And our 1,815th death in the state of West Virginia today is a 92-year-old male from Greenbrier County. I ask you really, please, to do all you possibly can. If you're close to these people and their loved ones or their friends, I ask you to reach out, West Virginia, in every way and let these people and all the people that we've lost know just how much you love them and how much you appreciate them and how much wisdom we've lost in the state of West Virginia that is so valuable to us. Now let me go on and tell you just this, and this is tough. I mean, going through and reading these people that we've lost is it's just awful. But now it even takes another turn of awful. And that is, we have lost a great, great man in the state of West Virginia. We've lost our cabinet secretary for Veterans Affairs and our cabinet secretary that's all in for all of our veterans. We've lost a big man, a man that was towering in stature, but a man that was just absolutely a model in every way. He could be tough, but every time you saw him, you wanted to just gravitate to him because of his smile and his warmth. Dennis Davis. What a man. What an incredible man. And so, you know me well enough, West Virginia, to know that I don't blow smoke about anything. I just tell you from my heart exactly what I think. And this really, really hits home with me. You know, I just don't throw this out there for nothing, but I thought the entire world of this man. And I'm going to read just a couple of things that he did that we should all know, but Dennis lived a lifetime of service to the state of West Virginia and to his country. And he had a profound impact on more than 137,000 brave veterans who called the West Virginia their home. You know, without question, an absolute patriot in every way, who cared deeply for the heroes across our state and our nation that served our nation. You know, I've said over and over, you know, to Dennis's wife, Margaret, and all his family and friends, Kathy and I, oh gosh, I hate this. I mean, I hated this. When this news came, it was not good. You know, prior to, I had the real pleasure to appoint Dennis as a cabinet secretary of the Department of Veterans Assistance in January of 2017. You know, that really 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and what an appointment. Absolutely never 1 second of regret. You know, prior to his appointment, Dennis, a U.S. Army veteran himself, served as a member of the Honor Guard at the Donald Kennard Veterans Cemetery. With Dennis leading our department the last 4 years, more than $2 billion has been provided in support to West Virginia veterans in the past year alone. And we were able to open 4 regional veterans assistance offices under Dennis's watch. We also exempted military retirement income from the state income for our veterans. We added dozens of brand new veteran transportation vans, dedicated multiple new monuments honoring our veterans throughout West Virginia, and lots and lots and lots more. All these achievements, without question, would have never happened without Dennis Davis. That's all there is to it. He had his hand in every single bit of this. You know, every West Virginian veteran who sacrificed to safeguard the freedoms that we cherish today, Dennis Davis was surely with you every step of the way. I've said many times we owe everything that we have in our life to our veterans. We do. And all of our active military as well. This state, for us having the ability to get up in the morning and share in the freedoms and all the different things that we do in this wonderful country every day and we take for granted. Who do we owe that to? We owe that to these people. Again, what an incredible secretary and what an honor it was for me to call Dennis Davis a great friend, a great cabinet secretary, and truly, this absolute state will really, as well as our nation, will really, really miss Dennis Davis. So to his family and everything, we are profoundly sad. And I'm sure Dennis is in a better place. He's got that big smile going on right now. And without any question, he's about getting something done. And so he will just, when we join Dennis someday, Dennis will be able to sit back and tell us about all the stuff that he's already accomplished and all the stuff he continues to do. So we love him, we love his family, and God bless each and every one of them. It's hard, but can you imagine going through that and then having to go back and talk to you about our numbers and stuff? Well, it's very, very difficult to pivot from someone you love to back to business, but I've got to. In the last 24 hours, we have a daily positive rate of 6.24. Our cumulative rate is at 5.50. We have 26,675 active cases and 82,330 that have recovered. We're down to 638 people that are hospitalized and 162 in the ICU units. We have only 17 red counties in the state of West Virginia right now. We're getting better. And the reason I only say that is because orange and everything else, the yellow and the green, are going to be going to school, and that's good stuff. And we have the best, and this is the lowest number that I've ever seen for West Virginia. Our RT number has moved down to 0.85. Remember, it's supposed to be under 1. We're at 0.85. That's the lowest that I've seen, and it's the very best in the entire nation. Just think, if we're the best in the nation, and I've read to you 80-some names, 82 names, and we got 1,815 that have died. Think what's really going on all across our land. We just know how tragic it is and how bad it is in lots of ways here, but we really don't know how really good it is here too. Again, a reminder about if you're age 65 and above and you got a sniffle in any way, or you've a headache or tired or whatever, please go get tested. We can save your life with the antibodies if you can go get tested then. Don't wait. Run to the fire. Treat it just like a stroke or a heart attack. I said we only have 17 counties in the red. I think we reported on our Saturday math that we had 18 counties in the red. There was a discrepancy that we found, and Bill Crouch, our Secretary of DHHR, will talk to you about that in just a few minutes. We're back to school today, for our spring semester. Our West Virginia Board of Education has outlined the expectations for all of our counties to return to in-person learning and instruction, and some of the counties are phasing in through a blended model, while others are starting with 4 to 5 days of in-person. Many families have reached out to the Department of Ed. I know this because they're calling like crazy to me and everything else, saying we want to go back to school. That's all there is to it. We want our kids back in school. Masks are mandated for all students age 9 and above, and all teachers and employees will be wearing them as well. We have approximately 50,000 children who will remain in virtual learning option. Granted, all the counties that are in red, will not be going to school from the standpoint of 8th grade or 9th grade and above until we can get them out of the red and everything. And, this, along with the blended learning model, significantly reduces the number of students in our schools, in our school buildings, allowing them for even more safety precautions than we already have, and increased social distancing, so that's good too. Many of our superintendents have reported so far today that the first day back to school is going smoothly, and they are really excited to have their children back and everything. So that's great stuff. On the vaccine update, West Virginia is knocking it so far out of the park. It's unbelievable, and I congratulate all those that are making it all happen and everything. You know, I'm not ashamed of the fact that I've pushed you, and I've pushed you, and I've pushed you, and I'm going to still continue to do that. You're not going to have me back down in any way. I want the shots in people's arms, and we're doing a great job getting it done. Today, now get this, today our administration rate for first doses that we've received is 99.6%. Now, I don't want to be like Clark Griswold's dad was and said there's one line of the lights that aren't twinkling, but if it's 99.6, we need to take it to 100%. We continue to lead the nation when it comes to getting these vaccines out to our people. To date, we have administered 132,000 first doses, 24,000 second doses, which means we have administered 156,373 doses. In just the last 24 hours, we administered 2,681 vaccines in the state of West Virginia. You know, West Virginia on the tracker, the CDC has posted the latest update and everything, and West Virginia continues to lead the nation, and we want to not only lead the nation, we want to lap the whole field. Now, okay, I got to tell you this now. I want you to really pay close attention to everything, just this. We can't give you a vaccine shot if we don't have the vaccines, can we? We just can't. And just to tell it like it is, you know, now is when, you know, most all the time I talk with you, I'm Jimmy or Jim, and now's the time when I'm James. You know, we expected an additional 25,000, in fact, we're told we're going to get an additional 25,000 vaccines in, you know, yesterday or today, and they didn't come. We got in 23,000 and change for first round doses, and the second round doses, you know, are significantly higher, but they're second round doses. We've got to give those. Now, from the standpoint of where West Virginia is at 23,000, that is absolutely inadequate. It's just that. It's not acceptable, and it's inadequate. And the reason it's not acceptable is just this. I know everybody is scrambling all over the place trying to get vaccines, but West Virginia is the third oldest state in the union, and is the most critically ill state, you know, in many, you know, chronic illnesses. The net of the whole thing is, you know, the only other two states I think that are in front of us as far as age are Maine and Florida, and they're surrounded by oceans. I mean, you know, really and truly, when it really boils right down to it, we're surrounded by people. 2/3 of the nation's population is all around us, and we're significantly the oldest when you think about it that way, and significantly we abound with chronic illnesses beyond belief. We have to have more vaccines because we can save lives, and we won't leave them on a shelf. Now, I am absolutely have all my people calling in every way. We're going to keep calling. I'm going to keep calling. We're going to keep trying in every way, somehow. We have got to have the vaccines because we will instantaneously save people's lives. Now, the other thing is just this, and states aren't going to like me saying this, but it's just a fact. I mean, here we are with no vaccines. We've got them all in people's arms, and we've done exactly what we should have done, and we performed. You know, I think performance ought to be rewarded. And absolutely, you have states across this union. I don't know, we sent out 22 million vaccines, and we've got 9 in the arms of our people. Well, where's the other 13 million vaccines? Where are they? They're sitting somewhere with some state in some warehouse and everything, and they're piddling around, and West Virginia is absolutely the oldest and the most chronic illnesses, and here we sit ready to go. Now, we got to get the vaccines. That's all there is to it. And we're pushing as hard as we can possibly push. We're pushing respectfully and everything. We got all that. You know, we're going through a transition of administrations and everything. That's a real problem right now and everything. And I hope and pray the Biden administration will really step up to the plate and help us, because we can truly, it isn't a matter of helping West Virginia over helping Oklahoma or helping West Virginia over helping, Iowa or whatever. It is not that. It is one thing and one thing alone, is today, right now, if they send us vaccines, we'll put them in somebody's arm. And as soon as we put them in somebody's arm, it's going to be saving somebody's life. Now, it's not something for West Virginia or something for Iowa or something, for Texas or where it may be. It is truly saving somebody's life right now. Now, I said this to General Hoyer last night. I said, General, if in fact, you had vaccines, and yet they have to be somewhere. There's 13 million of them somewhere. They aren't in people's arms. Where are they? They're somewhere. A long time ago at the Alamo, there was all kinds of Mexicans charging and everything else. What if they ran out of bullets? What if they did? For crying out loud, what if the bullets were in Arkansas? That's not acceptable to me. So we're going to keep on trying, and we're going to keep on pushing like crazy. I guarantee you just this. If we get the doses, we'll put them in somebody's arm. But absolutely everyone needs to understand loud and clear. If we don't have the vaccines, we cannot get them in the arms. We have got to only really be able to do what we have resources to do. And that's not a matter of having manpower and whatever it may be. We got to have the vaccines. Now, so we'll keep pushing. We'll really keep pushing really hard. The other thing we're going to do is just this. And Bill Crouch and, and maybe Clay Marsh and everything will give some more update on this. But we're going to, I have authorized now for us to get a new system in place. And the new system in place will be facilitating and helping and updating and everything, all of you, from the standpoint of trying to get away from you calling and sitting on the phone for hours on end and trying to get somebody lined up to take a shot and going through all the inconvenience of that. We're going to try to ease it up and make it more efficient, and they'll talk with you about that in just a few minutes. I could go through a lot on our Operation Saving Our Wisdom, which is really good. But the biggest thing that I got to tell you is we are officially moving our vaccine age to 65 right now. And the reason we're doing that primarily is just this. The CDC is promoting to do that, and we surely don't want any obstacles in front of us to getting vaccines. In other words, if we stay at 70 or 75, and I know we haven't gotten all of our 80s or all of our 70s done, I got that, for crying out loud. But if we don't go to 65, they may very well restrict the number of vaccines they send because they want us to be at 65, so we go to 65. These community vaccination clinics will be for those who are 65 and older, and they'll be held in the following counties. It's Campbell, Kanawha, Braxton, Logan, Wood, Greenbrier, Mercer, Pocahontas, Raleigh, Hancock, Marshall, and I'm doubling up here reading, but it looks like Hancock, Marshall, Harrison, Monongahela, Randolph, Berkeley, and Hardy counties. So maybe I'm not doubling up. On the clinics, just the clinics. Now this is just the clinics. The clinics, have the abilities to vaccinate 10,000 West Virginians that are of age 65 and older a day. All that's good. To date, we have vaccinated 75 and plus of age individuals, 36,095. Imagine how many lives have we saved? When really it really boils right down to it. Now, let's be honest. 3 weeks ago, we were telling all our people that were of this age and everything, we probably weren't going to be able to get to you till April. We were. And then all of a sudden we moved, and we really, really kicked it in gear. We have vaccinated 36,095, which is a big time number. We've saved a pot full of lives. And so We want to keep it up. That's what we're going to do. WVU has a big announcement today, and I'm going to read a little bit, but WVU Medicine today announced that they will open a community-based COVID vaccine clinic for Morgantown area residents, and it will be at the former Sears building at the Morgantown Mall. The clinic will operate on Thursday and Friday of this week, but appointments are filling up fast, so make an appointment there and everything. If you're in that area, please do. WVU Medicine expects to host the clinic on an ongoing basis, meaning that clinic, they're hopeful will be there ongoing. And by ongoing, they'll determine what days of the week that they'll have it, but people will be able to know that that's the place they go to. That's the place in that area that they go. And I want to thank WVU again for their incredible leadership. Just think of all the people, from, Albert Wright to Clay Marsh and to the guy that's the chief of the chiefs that wears the little bow tie and everything is Gordon Gee, a great friend and incredible leader. And this super hub model, I hope, will be something that we can maybe expand on statewide with the assistance of other local partners and everything. But the good thing about this is this will be in the same place, and we'll announce, what days it's going to be open and what days that are going to be open is all dependent upon one thing, and that's the federal government sending us the doses and sending us the vaccines. All the COVID vaccine information's up on our website and everything there. You can get that. Our vaccine reminders is, for gosh sakes, 11. Quit being afraid of taking the vaccine. And West Virginians really have responded really well. I'm exceptionally proud of our teachers and our service personnel because they have really poured out in great big numbers. And so with all that being said and everything, you can't get COVID from taking the shot. You're not going to grow a third arm. For crying out loud, you're not going to grow antlers. Look at everybody that's been taking these vaccines. Tell me anybody that's really having a super tough time. There's got to be somebody. But really and truly, for the most part, it's really safe. Remember all the antibodies. If you can catch this thing early, we'll save your lives. Go get tested. Continue. The free testing is still available. Continue to get yourself tested. All the testing map and everything is up there on our website. All the drive-through pharmacy. I thank you so much for all the good work we're doing there. We have 92 outbreaks in our long-term care facilities. Our churches were down. I love this because, our people are so good in this state. They're so good. Listen to this. We have only 4 outbreaks in our churches right now. We have only 3 county outbreaks. I just think about that. That's Nicholas, Summers, and Wetzel counties. How many days have I read 16, 17, whatever? People are doing really good stuff. And you're really listening. And that's why West Virginia just continues to just knock it out of the park. Great job. Remember to keep a pew in between you, and wear your mask. And, if you're older and you can get your church services online, that's probably the best bet right now, but we're getting there. There's only 150 inmate cases and 32 staff cases statewide. That's better. Remember to wear your mask, everybody. Come on now. We're doing good here. Wear your mask, get your flu shot, and give blood. Give blood and plasma if you would. It'd be good stuff. Really, save lives. I don't know how in the world. If you'll just think, just real quick, just one thing. If you have survived COVID, how did you survive? Really and truly, do you not think that at least part of it, in my opinion, all of it, but at least part of it came as a blessing to you and your family from God above? Now, if that came as a blessing, the least maybe you could think about doing is going and give blood, because you could be a real blessing to someone else. Come on. If you've been blessed to that level, come on, help us. I'm going to talk just 1 second about the inauguration. The inauguration is going to be on Friday. It will begin at 1 p.m. There's a lot of these details, to be perfectly honest, I don't even know about. But I'll be sworn in, during the ceremony, along with the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the State Treasurer, and the state auditor and the commissioner of agriculture and the Supreme Court justices. You know, it will not be open to the public and everything. We'll be social distanced and all that, you know, and everything, and still have it and stream it online, you know, where you can watch the whole thing live on West Virginia Public Broadcasting. I encourage all people, you know, to tune in and you know, and watch it on, you know, on public broadcasting. I think it'll be really nice and everything. The only other thing that I would add is just this. I got sworn in officially on Sunday night. I think we had about 10 people there. You know, my family, the only person that came really was Kathy, and we had a few people from my office, and it was really nice. It really was. You know, when you hold your hand up and you take that oath and everything, to me, it's been a real honor to serve you. I said at that time, and we streamed it, I hope you got it, but if you didn't get it, I said just this, and then I'll end with this. I said, I will give you every single thing that I have in my soul. I will do any and everything I possibly can to try to help you and try to help every single person in this great state across this great nation as well. And I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth each and every day. You honored me beyond belief in the re-election and everything because we won every single county. But you know what you did by doing that too? You put a real emphasis on me, that a mandate that I need to try to do everything I can, and I will, each and every day. I appreciate you, and I love each and every one of you, West Virginia. You're the best of the best. And every single time that I can tell it, I love it, I love it, and I love it. You know, one of the reporters asked me the other day, and there's an article, and you know, let me see. I don't know exactly where you can get this and everything, and maybe, Jordan, you guys can put this on, you know, as to where you can get it. But this wonderful lady, her name was Selena, I think, and she wrote this article and everything, and it really reflects a lot about West Virginia, you know. But she was from Pittsburgh, and the name of the article was "Justice for West Virginia Means Vaccination Success." You know, but in the article, one of the things, and I haven't read the whole article, and so I don't know that this is in there, but she said to me, she said, let me just ask you one question. She said, is it not true that people, you know, at least in the past, have made fun of West Virginia, told a lot of West Virginia jokes? Have they not thought that West Virginians were the poorest or most backward, or, you know, absolutely just, you know, dingy with coal dust and you know, not very many teeth or whatever it may be? Have they not thought that? And I said, and then she said, and how do you feel about, you know, really all the good that West Virginia's doing? How does it make you feel? You know what I said? Here's exactly what I said. To all those that are on the outside that have said these bad things about West Virginia, I want to rub it in their face. That's exactly what I said. It's right there in that article. That's exactly how I feel. West Virginia is the absolute greatest state, period, with the very best people, period. And absolutely, we're changing our image. We are now the diamond in the rough that everybody missed. And that's why I am so passionate about it. I want us to tell our story. I want us to be proud of our pond. And absolutely, I love rubbing it in their face. Because as they stumble around and they can't get things done, we get them done. And we get them done because we're West Virginia. And we've gotten them done over and over and over. So if you can get this article, and I wish to goodness I could tell you, but it looks like it's www.washingtonexaminer.com. But I don't know if I'm right about that or not. But anyway, am I right about that, Jordan? Hey, how about that? I'm so tech savvy, but I got it right. Okay. Y'all remember that. I'm going to read it one more time. It's www.washingtonexaminer.com. WashingtonExaminer.com. So if you can get it, look at it and everything. Be proud of yourself, West Virginia. You're really good. I've known you're good forever. And I'm really, really proud to rub it in people's face just how good you really are.
All right, thank you, Governor. Let's now go to Bill Crouch, the Secretary of the West Virginia DHHR.
Hello, everyone. Let me talk first about the county map. As the governor mentioned, the map came up this morning with Lincoln County red. Lincoln County, after a review of that data, and we actually were reviewing that data when the map went up, there was a duplicate on there. Lincoln County is actually orange. That has been changed on the map now, so it does come up as orange. We want to make sure that the folks in Lincoln County understand. We apologize for that, for the delay. We wanted to get the map up on time, but Lincoln County is orange. The superintendent of schools has been notified by Department of Education. Let me talk a minute about help with paying bills. Paul Mullen raised this issue last Friday. We have reached out to the Public Service Commission. Public Service Commission is suggesting that individuals who have fees on their bills to contact the utility company directly and see if the utility company will remove those fees. If not, the Public Service Commission is also recommending that you can ask for an informal request for assistance through the Public Service Commission, and they will try to assist. They're also looking into this further to see if they can do something else with this. We also reached out to the United States Postal Service and received a letter from them this morning with a variety of issues related to staffing. Most of those are COVID-related issues, so they're having difficulty, as are other businesses, with regard to maintaining staff and maintaining services. So they apologize for that. The letter was from a Mr. Diggs, manager of consumer and industry contact for the Appalachian District. So we thank the United States Postal Service for getting back to us so quickly. Finally, let me talk about the online registration system that the governor mentioned. We are finalizing an agreement to provide a system to give us a system that allows registration online for individuals. We have a call system, as you know, that individuals can call. Our wait time has been a little over 2 minutes, so we ask for everyone's patience. But within the next few days, hopefully by the end of the week, we will be able to register you with that online call system, so that when you call in, we'll be able to take your name and your information, and the system itself will communicate back to you at your preferred method, using your preferred method, whether that's text, email, a phone call, to let you know when the time comes for your vaccination. This system will also work at the local health department level and for individuals. Once we get a link to the website, and we'll have to roll these out each very carefully to make sure it works properly. But individuals will actually be able to go to the website at some point here within the next week or two and log on and register online yourself. We're trying to reduce the calls. We're trying to move quickly. As the governor said, we're ready to vaccinate everyone. We want everyone to take advantage of this vaccine. Everyone needs to please register as we get this online. So we're moving quickly to do that. We thank everyone for their patience. And again, as the governor said, if you're sick, if you have issues, please be tested. We don't want to forget about testing or wearing masks. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Secretary. Next, we'll go to retired Major General Jim Hoyer, the Director of the Joint Interagency Task Force.
Good afternoon. As Governor Justice did, I want to express from my wife Amy and I our condolences to Dennis Davis's family. Dennis was, as the governor pointed out, a great person, a great veterans advocate, but also knew Dennis for a number of years working with my mother-in-law in Kanawha County School System vocational education. He changed a lot of young lives as well as the veterans' lives. So to Dennis's family, God bless you. We have you in our prayers, and we love you. As the governor pointed out, we are having great success, but as he also pointed out, he is not satisfied. And my responsibility to him is to not be satisfied and continue to work the interagency task force. I want folks to understand that we continue to grow the network and the partnerships every day. This morning, we had a great conversation with about 20 groups that represent those folks with developmental disabilities and behavioral health folks, and we'll continue to grow the networks across 55 counties. We ask for your patience as we grow these capabilities. And when the governor and I referred to clinics, it's not just a single point or a single site. It is building a partnership network across 55 counties that will allow us to get to our population as quickly as possible. So please understand that we continue to work that and build that every day, and we'll continue to press to get that capability. As the governor pointed out, we receive just a little under, right now, a little under 100,000 vaccines a month. Our objective is to be able to do 120,000 vaccines a week to get to those most vulnerable populations and continue to focus on age as we go forward. And we will see an impact on the success of our state. The great news is that people in West Virginia want this vaccine, and we ask them to continue to put us and press us to get it to them. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Next to Dr. Clay Marsh, our coronavirus czar.
Well, good afternoon. In following up the comments that the governor has made and Secretary Crouch and retired General Hoyer, it's really striking as the governor read the names of the great West Virginians who've died, how much this pandemic has cost us, both as a state and as a country. We are approaching 25 million infected Americans. We're approaching 400,000 deaths. Around the world, we're approaching 100 million infected world citizens, and we just passed 2 million deaths. That's an extraordinary amount of loss. And sometimes we become less focused on the tragedy that happens every day. There's recently an article about the faceless deaths of people with COVID-19. And I think that's even more reason for us to be committed, yet still
I think the connection for Dr. Marsh may be having some issues, so we'll just go ahead and keep moving on. Dr. Ayan Amjad, our state health officer, is also joining us today and is available for questions. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Kenny Bass with Channel 8 and Fox 11.
Hi, thank you very much for taking the question. I know that you're expanding age groups and different healthcare providers, but a couple of specific healthcare provider groups have reached out to me and asked me if I could just throw their professions into the hat to see where they might rank. One would be for those actually administering the vaccine. Someone mentioned that there were some pharmacy students from the University of Charleston who were administering the vaccine. Also, of course, there are older pharmacists and pharmacy workers throughout the state who are administering the vaccine, but they are not eligible to receive the vaccine. So where those people might rank. And then one group that is probably not thought of first top of mind, but we're funeral home workers who go into hospitals, who retrieve the ones we've lost, to then prepare those victims for their funerals, attend those funerals, work at those funerals, are surrounded sometimes, as the governor has mentioned many times. Funerals, of course, are a very vulnerable place for COVID transmission. So where funeral workers who might not even be older than 50, but definitely those older than 50, where funeral home workers and embalmers and people like that would be in the list and possibly be added. Thank you very much.
General, you or Dr. Marsh, answer this if you would, please, because you'll do it better than I.
Yes, Governor. Kenny, funeral director, funeral staff, as well as those folks you're talking about related to students who are going to be healthcare students who will be working. We are continuing to work with various organizations, the licensing boards, the associations that represent groups, and pull those lists together and where the opportunity presents as quickly as possible to get vaccines to those people. But as it goes back to what the governor talks about, we can only put vaccines in arms that we have. And but rest assured that we are continuing to compile lists to work to make sure that we get to those populations as quickly as possible.
All right, thank you, Kenny. Next is Steve Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yeah, Steve Adams of Ogden Newspapers here. Obviously, a lot of focus on vaccinations. I know there's been talk of testing and encouragement for people to go get tested. Where do we stand on that? I know we've, again, shifted focus on vaccinations. In Wood County, for example, I was looking, there was only 3 locations today where you could go get COVID tests, and those were 3 pharmacies specifically. There's some concern about people not being able to get ready access to testing. So where do we stand with testing in the state? I know the numbers are still high. Can someone explain that? Thank you.
Stephen, let me just take a stab at it and say just this, and then I'm going to defer to our general as well. But you know, when it really boils right down to it, there's always somewhat of a limited amount of resources that we have. And so, you know, from the standpoint of how we, you know, first and foremost, we want to get shots in arms. I mean, right now, for sure. But secondly, we want to keep the aggressive testing rolling. And so maybe it's not General, you know, General Hoyer, but Dr. Amjad, you know, if you could help us, you know, just step in there and say a few words.
Sure, Governor. Steve, it's still listed on our website for daily testing sites. So some places, and I'd have to look up Wood County specifically, but there's still daily testing sites. Some of the pharmacies are still testing. Some health departments may offer it, but you'd have to go on the website and look up, you know, daily testing events and weekly testing events, and some pharmacies that are offering it. But they are offered throughout the state, and someone would have to go on the website and look up the particular place. But we are still offering them daily throughout the state as well. But it's on our website, and you'd have to look it up per county if that helps.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Next, we'll go to David Beard with the Dominion Post.
Hi, General Hoyer brought up the question I'm going to ask, and so I'll kind of just pursue it a little farther. And I know the answer just about every vaccine question is supply, supply, supply. But anyway, the CDC guidance that lowers the vaccine age to 65 also includes those with comorbidities that exacerbate their vulnerability. And I get regular questions from the developmental disability community when they're going to be wrapped in. And General Hoyer brought that up, and I honestly didn't catch quite all of what he said, but wonder if you could elaborate on the conversations you've had with them about when you'll be able to get those in the picture. Thanks.
David, thanks a bunch. Dr. Marsh, why don't you start off, and in general, I want you to step in and wrap it up on this, please.
Sounds good. Thank you, David. We do include people with disabilities, including developmental disabilities, and people living in group settings. So they are on the list. As the governor has pointed out and CDC recommends, age is our primary discriminator that we are trying to facilitate, given the substantial risk of death and hospitalization in people over 65, and then every decile over greater than 75, greater than 85, really increased risk of death. It's really quite extraordinary. So we are very much aware of people with other health risks and disabilities, and they are on the list. And certainly we want to get to people as fast as possible. As the governor said, the real key for us is having sufficient vaccines to be able to immunize all the people in West Virginia who really do need this life-saving intervention and who choose to get vaccinated. Jim?
So yes, and as the governor pointed out, so we had a call today with this morning with 20 groups along with VOAD. Also, the Benedum Foundation is working with us. So we will continue to identify the individuals, West Virginians who need that, as well as those who support them. It'll also work into the broader construct of group homes as well. So it's also a matter of developing out network for transportation for those who can go to sites that we set up, but also being prepared to deliver to those who cannot get out. So David, we continue to work that. I think we're making good progress, and as vaccines become available, we will get to that. There will also be groups of the staff support this week who will be getting vaccinated to reduce the amount of community spread.
All right, thank you, David. Next to Mark Curtis with Next Star Media.
Good afternoon, Governor and staff members and members of the press. If I could just share a quick Dennis Davis story. A very special man to me. When my daughter first graduated from basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, I ran up to Dennis at the Capitol, very excitedly told him that she had made it. And he said, "What is she going to do next?" And I said, "She's going into the field artillery of all things." And Dennis lit up and said, "I was in field artillery. Where is she doing her training?" And I said, "She's on her way to Fort Sill, Oklahoma." And Dennis lit up again and said, "I did my training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma." We developed a very special bond. As you know, nobody knows this better than General Hoyer. Being a military parent is a tough job. And Dennis was so supportive of me and my family and my daughter over the years, and always asked about her and cared very much. And so for his service to this state, his service to this nation in the U.S. Army, rest in peace, Dennis Davis. God bless you, and thank you for all you did for our country and our state and our veterans in particular. Now, on to my question. Governor, we're switching administrations. Obviously, you had a special bond with President Trump. You guys are close friends. I've been through a lot of presidential transitions in my lifetime. And usually state governors or somebody at the executive level, maybe a U.S. senator, they appoint a liaison to the White House on behalf of the state so that states' issues don't get ignored, special problems that crop up, natural disasters. Are you going to designate someone from West Virginia to work directly with the Biden administration, or has that request been made in reverse? How are we going to deal with making sure West Virginia's voice gets heard in the Biden administration as we change, change administrations tomorrow? Thank you.
Well, Mark, it's a great question, and I want to just say just this, that and this is just how I am. You know, I'm here to serve because I truly believe in our nation and just how great we are. I'm absolutely respectful to the presidency and was friends with President Trump, you know, and I hope we'll remain friends, you know, but and I'm sure we will. He's a good man with a lot of great family around him. I know it's a tough time, really tough time for him, but we got to go on as this nation does. You know, I hate like crazy with what's happened to Dennis Davis, but we got to go on, and that's what Dennis would want. That's what this great nation does. And so in all of that, I want to be as respectful as a human being can possibly be to our new president Biden. And absolutely, I want us to work together in every way. And I really think we will. You know, I don't know him personally, but his personality seems to fit in a lot of ways with mine. Pretty kind of, not necessarily all that formal and laid back a little bit. But absolutely, I look forward to us working together, and our people are already talking with them, and we will continue to do whatever liaisons as a transition. Absolutely, West Virginia will always be heard, and we will make sure that all of our wishes and everything are heard through our senators, our congressmen, our congresswomen, and I'm really anxious for us to get started, turn another leaf, and continue to do everything we possibly can to help West Virginia and help this nation.
All right, thank you, Mark. Next, we'll go to Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with WV News. This morning it was reported that Governor Cuomo from New York was reaching out to Pfizer directly to attempt to purchase the vaccine from them and not wait on the federal government. Is that something that we would consider, or are there any other alternative vaccine distribution strategies we're considering, or are we just going to wait on the supply side to catch up? Thank you.
Charles, I would consider any and everything. I have not heard that, and I think that will probably be terribly unsuccessful, because I am sure that Pfizer and Moderna and everybody are tied directly in to the supply chain of the U.S. government. But at the same time, we'll check it out and see if that's a possibility. And if it is a real possibility, we'll get after that too.
All right, thank you, Charles. Next, we'll go to June Leffler with West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Hello, I have another federal government question. So yes, about the new administration, they have released, details about how they want to tackle the vaccine rollout. That includes, giving billions of more dollars to the rollout, implementing the Defense Production Act, and just having a bigger presence when it comes to getting vaccines out. So I'm wondering if you have any comments on the Biden's plan about this, and especially as it relates to having more of a federal presence, since we know that West Virginia has, not opted into every federal program related to vaccine distribution.
Well, let me make it real simple. I don't know how to make it any more simple than this. Anything that we can do, and we've already done it. I mean, for God's sakes, a living, we've performed. While other states were sitting around and not able to pull it off, West Virginia performed. And West Virginia continues to perform. Anything, though, we can do to get more vaccines in the state, I support it. Anything. We got to get more and more and more vaccines and have the ability to get them in our people's arms. But at the same time, I tell everybody just this: let's always try to be fair, and let's always try to be objective. We were told, and we tried to tell the people over and over, we're not going to be able to do anything with our elderly until really probably about April the 1st. We were told that over and over, and we didn't accept that, did we? And we moved, and we continue to move, and that's what we're going to continue to do in every way to try to get each and every vaccine we can possibly get into West Virginia.
All right, thank you, June. Next to Paul Mullen with WCBC.
Good afternoon, Governor. Good afternoon, panel. Governor, you quoted your father. You quoted John Wooden, and I'm going to throw a quote at you from my old math teacher, Brother Pat Carney, who said, "There is nothing so simple that it can't be complicated." I'd like to get your opinion on why West Virginia has been able to do better with its distribution than other states. Do they have bigger bureaucracies that cause a problem with this? Give me your thoughts, please.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw one right back at you, and and that is definition of committee. A collection of individuals that can never accomplish anything. A collection of individuals that through their life, they could never accomplish anything. But collectively, they can decide nothing can be done. Think about it. Think about it. That's what these people have done. That's exactly what they've done. They've sat around as a bunch of individuals that individually probably have never accomplished much of nothing. And really, they've sat around as a group and decided, after they've evaluated all the different concepts of everything, that nothing can be done. That's not West Virginia, and that's not what we've done. You see, and although it took some pushing, we have great people that are really smart, and they think practically. They think absolutely that if we go with a Walgreens and CVS, and all across our nation and everything, it may not be the right fit for West Virginia. So we didn't do that, did we? We went to clinics and pharmacies and everything, and all of a sudden we pivoted, even though all the data and everything that was given to us said, really and truly, you can't possibly get to the general public on somebody that's in excess of 80 or 70 or 5 or whatever. You can't possibly do that now because you've got to do this, this, and this. Well, just because you got to do A, B, and C doesn't mean that there's not a way to do exactly what you want to accomplish. I tell people all the time, I've done a lot of stuff. I mean, you've got a governor that's done a lot of stuff and employed a lot of people and fixed a lot of things and stubbed his toe a bunch of times. And when you stub your toe, your toe hurts and you learn from it. Well, a lot of these people have just been government, more bureaucratic, more government, and that's what they've done in their lives. That's not me. And it's not these smart people that are my experts that are around me. Now, just think about just this. We know from all the data, and here's the things that we did. We did 4 things that day, and I call them absolutely as profound as anything we've done while I've been here. But those 4 things that day was, one, is we knew we had to get our kids back in school. We knew we had to get them back in school. I mean, for crying out loud, I mean, how more profound can we be that a third of our kids are failing core classes? A third of them, the remote stuff doesn't work or is not working very well. And so with all that, we have to get them back in school. And the transmission rate, we know by all the science, is almost 0. Now, we can't make it 0. We can't make it perfect. And God forbid, I'd hate so bad it would be unbelievable if we have a situation with children or at a school. We can't make it perfect. We all know that. But absolutely, all the science tells us to go back to school. Because not only are our kids failing classes, but our special needs kids have all kinds of needs. And there's all kinds of kids that, God forbid, are having bad things happen to them out there. We've got to get these kids back in school. We knew we had to do that, did we not? And so what did we do? We moved. And then with moving, what we did right with it is we said, we're going to vaccinate all of our teachers and all of our service personnel. We moved. And the 4th thing, that's 2. And the 4th thing right behind all of that is we said, we're not going to let the vaccine sit on the shelf. We're not going to do that. We're going to move. Because absolutely, we're not going to hear on the door and somebody say, General, there's 92,000 of these vaccines sitting out here and I don't know where in the hell to put them because the warehouse is full. That's what's happening all across our nation. While they set their committee and tried to figure, we moved. And the last thing we did is we gave hope. We gave hope to the 80-year-old that's sitting at home wondering, how in the world am I going to make it? People are dying like crazy. I'm scared to death. I'm absolutely scared teetotally to death. I'm not going to get my shot till up in April, or maybe who knows if it could be even later. How am I going to make it? So we restored hope, did we not? We moved. We moved, as West Virginians do, as your governor that has experience beyond belief does. Absolutely, I'm not going to sit on my hands, and I could say something worse, but I'm not going to sit on my hands and absolutely not move. I can't make it perfect, but that's what we did in West Virginia. We did 4 things that day that are unbelievable. We went back to school, or we said we're going to go back to school. We vaccinated our teachers. We absolutely didn't leave vaccines in the warehouse, and we gave hope back to our elderly. And so if the federal government would just give us these vaccines, if they came in tomorrow and said, you can get all the vaccines you want, I'll promise you by the 7th day of February, every single person in our state 65 and older, we'd have a vaccine in their arm. Our people are really good. They're really good. And they've heard me on their tail over and over and over, and they're really good. That's how we get it done.
All right, thank you, Paul. Next to Phil Campbell with the Charleston Gazette-Mail.
Hello, everyone. According to the DHHR dashboard, it looks like the state's done about 3,500 vaccinations over the past 3 days. Is that a factor of running out of vaccine, and where is the breakdown in the chain of distribution?
General, maybe you can do this one.
Phil, I'd have to take a look at the dashboard. Don't have it in front of me, but as I recall, there were many more than that done over the past several days. As you see from the vaccine distribution dashboard, we're at 99.6% of the doses that we have for first dose. So I'm not sure what your reference is.
All right, thank you, Phil. Governor, I'll turn it back to you.
Let me come back. Let me say this. Phil, I think if you're trying to be fair, I hope and pray you are. Is if we got 99.6 that are in somebody's arm, I don't know how we manifest the ability to give out more.
Yep, thank you, Phil. Governor, back to you.
Okay, well, again, I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate this great panel of experts that are around me that have done phenomenal work. I would say my quote would probably be, I'm very proud of the work they've done, but I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm not going to be satisfied until we get everybody done. I would tell people to, do anything and everything you can to help. Call your senators. Call both our senators. Call them like crazy. Call our Congress people and everything. Call them. Call them and say, West Virginia, the oldest state, the state with the most chronic illnesses. I mean, come on. Everybody's got to get in this voice to get us more and more vaccines. The state that has absolutely put every shot that we have in somebody's arm. So again, if you were to call, here's what I want you to say. I want you to say, we need your help. We're the oldest, the most chronically ill state. We have got to get bumped up based on just that. We have absolutely put in arms every single vaccine we have. We're absolutely not surrounded by an ocean. Come on. We need you. We need you right now to push in every way we possibly can to get more vaccines in West Virginia, and we'll get them in somebody's arm. Now, I hate to say it this way, but it's just the truth. With some of these states, and they're not going to get it done. They're not. They're going to stumble around just like they have been and hide behind something and give some political gobbledygook and everything. But if West Virginia could just get the crumbs that they're missing or that they're just throwing off their plate, we'll take the crumbs too. We deserve the meat and potatoes, but we'll take the crumbs. We'll take the crumbs and get more and more people vaccinated. The latest, my executive assistant and everything, it's Pam Rhodes, and Pam's going to get on me about this, but yesterday, she told me about a gentleman that was at Leicester, West Virginia, that they found that had frozen to death. Now just think about that. An older person, they probably couldn't pay or figured out some way to pay their power bill, and I don't know any of the circumstances at all. I could be all wrong about this. But I assume that they couldn't pay their power bill and the heat was off and everything, and people that are afraid to go visit and everything because of COVID. Somebody sat there and froze to death. That's tough stuff. We need to absolutely continue to do better. We need to push more and more and more. Absolutely keep pushing, West Virginia, and we're going to get there. And the last thing I would tell you is just this. Every single person in this state needs to, this moment, remember Dennis Davis. What a man. Thank you, Dennis, for all you did for each and every one of us and all you did for this nation. We love you, and absolutely will never forget you. Thank you so much.